Hi, Mark here from the Tangibound Podcast Network and host of the flagship show, the Tangibound Podcast. Did you know that we over at Tangibound are always looking for amazing podcasts to promote? And did you also know that we are also proud nerds and geeks of everything from movies, music, gaming, TV shows, and comic books to wrestling, MMA, soccer, and football? Whatever you can nerd or geek out about, we've got it. And if you're interested, we can help you find it. And if you're a show looking for a place to call home, we've got you covered. Side effects may include upset stomach, dizziness, tumors, shakes, and in some rare cases, death from excessive laughter. Though to be fair, it's only sometimes. Other side effects may include diarrhea, gallstones, heart palpitations, and strong desire for cookies on the dark side. Talk to your doctor and visit TangiboundNetwork.com and see if Tangibound Network is right for you.
This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net's Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Hello, and welcome to the Moving the Needle podcast, where we ask, what moves you? Excellent or bogus? Did anyone do the right thing? Do you mess with the Zohan? With me tonight to discuss Do the Right Thing, Rocky vs. Creed, childhood, guilty pleasures, a test of time, you don't mess with the Zohan, once upon a time in Hollywood. With me tonight is Stephanie.
Hello.
Roy. Hello. And Henno. Yo, we want to thank you for listening on iTunes. We're also available on Spotify, just about everywhere you can find podcasts. We are, so come on now,
Google
let
Play.
us know. Email us at mtnpodcast@gmail.com or on facebook.com/mtnpod. Twitter and tweet us at mtnpod. There's so many ways to find us.
Welcome to the podcast from Turmericstone, the sexiest podcast of world renowned. Tony grows a beard to hide his chin, swaps it with Earl so it glistens. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Download the pod, you won't get enough of these dapper chaps talking deadly fluff. In Hobo Gulch they run a homeless mission, clanging and banging with the pentagram of kittens. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. They enjoy their whiskey and local craft beer. By Odin's unkempt pubis we give a cheer. Tony's a raccoon when he's booziest. Don't be a savage, be an enthusiast. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. On the frozen tundra they call it a lock. Tony likes to masturbate in a sock. Brian pisses rocks cause it feels so great. I still don't know who the fuck is Tate. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. The boys will let you know when there's a spurter. Due to male pattern baldness, they don't wear curlers. Stay salty, people, that's their closing line. And don't forget, have a beer, you'll be fine. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty language.
What's up, cool cats and kittens? This is Salty Language, episode 453.
God damn it, Brian, sexiest podcast on the network.
Aiden.
Fuck you, Carol Baskins.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Shit. Yeah, I just couldn't
Excellent
help
work,
it.
Brian.
I know for sure I'm not the first person who's done that. You know, I'm sure a bunch of podcasts have led that way, but couldn't help myself.
I mean, I don't blame you because Tiger King,
Right.
which I did finish.
Oh, you thought you finished?
Yeah, I know. They dropped a new episode, today?
I
Or
didn't
is it
see if
tomorrow?
I was going to say, I don't know if it's coming out today or tomorrow, but according to Jeff, who's clearly a trustworthy person,
Yes, definitely.
soon. I'm curious what the hell another episode can have in it, so I can't wait.
I mean, I did hear they reopened the Carol Baskin's missing husband case,
Yeah.
which I think is hilarious.
Right. Well, I'm curious on that, like, if they truly found any real. I mean, because usually they don't reopen a case unless they found some evidence. So
Right.
I'm curious what it was. I saw a comedian. Oh shoot, I can't think of her name now. Oh shit, I feel bad because I can't think of her name. She posted a thing that was like, on the next Joe Rogan, Joe interviews Carol's previous husband, and it just shows like a tray of ground meat. So,
Oh
man.
shit! I mean,
Yeah,
that is a wild ride.
yeah, right. Real quick for anyone listening, if you haven't watched Tiger King Spoilers, in the event that we randomly have already spoiled things, but I don't think
True.
I don't think anything we've said so far truly is that spoilerific if you've been on the internet,
No, I mean the amount of memes and shit that just blatantly give stuff away. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, if you don't know already,
Yeah.
you know.
I'll say this: I saw tons of memes before I even watched the show, and I didn't even realize how much was spoiled for me beforehand.
Same.
But then you're watching, you're going, "Oh, now I get it." Now you get all
And
those
you're also
memes.
going, "Oh my god!"
So the show is such a train wreck. I've read,
It is insane.
like anytime I watch something like that, I always will go look for like what was omitted,
Right.
and or what has happened since, those kind of things. And of course, shoot, what's that guy's name? The walking douchebag that's on the show.
Oh, Jeff, whatever.
Lowe? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the last episode's about. It's about him.
Oh, okay. Well, him and
Yeah,
his
now that you mention that.
Okay, so him and his wife said that, they were portrayed, they don't feel they were portrayed fairly on the show. And I was like, see, I have a hard time believing that, because for a guy who walks around looking like he does, they pretty much gave me exactly what I expect him to be.
Yeah, a douche.
I have a hard time believing he's anything other than a tries too hard douchebag.
Oh boy.
So, whatever. But, and of course Carol, doubled down on her, I didn't kill my husband things, and I cooperated, and I did all this, and it's like, yeah, we understand, that was covered in the documentary. You said you did things that were weird.
Super weird.
No, but yeah, and I read that the last guy that Tiger King is married to, they're still married, and he's still very much like if he was released today, we'd still be married and all that kind of stuff. So
I mean, I guess he loves that old Prince Albert dick.
I guess I saw a tweet where somebody was like, "How come nobody's talking about the fact that he points out that he wears padlocks in his Prince Albert, and he just hangs them from nails in his room?"
I mean, there's so many layers to that.
I know, right?
Insane show.
I gotta say, one of the things I'm surprised with is I haven't seen, and maybe someone has, I just haven't seen it. I haven't seen anyone call him out for stealing a joke. And he straight out steals from Ron White. Or at least that's the first person I heard do the joke with when it was like, oh, I'm not gay. It's like, oh, when you watch porn, do you watch the ones with the little dicks or the big dicks?
Oh, right,
And when the person says big dicks, be like, oh, you're a little gay then, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a Ron White joke. He's talking about his cousin. And it's an old Ron White joke.
Well, maybe he's just paying homage to it. He's
Yeah.
obviously a Southern man.
Right. He likes himself some tater salad.
Yeah, boy, I'm sure he does. Tossing the tater salad.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Whew.
Yeah. That is the. I mean, I almost want to watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it is such a wild, fucking crazy ride.
It is something.
Yeah.
You know, it says something that when I just watched the first part of WrestleMania last night, and Tiger King is wilder than WrestleMania. You know, that says all you need to know about it. It's, you know, it's wow. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
I hear you.
Toward the end of, you know, the thing where it shows Jeff and that other guy, you know, building the new zoo, and then they, you know, they're getting into fights over it already, and it's like that place is never gonna open. I just feel like it's just gonna be just a train wreck and never end up opening. So
Yeah, right. I know.
yeah, which whatever. I don't give a shit. It's not like I'm ever gonna go to it. So
That's why I'm kind of curious about the follow-up episode.
Yeah.
And you know, honestly, if they're smart, if their zoo isn't actually open, with how much heat Tiger King's getting, it'll be crunch time to get that ready for once the whole quarantine lifts.
yeah, true.
Because people will go. It'll be like
Yeah.
the you know, baseball field and Field of Dreams.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, very true. People will want to go.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
It'd just
people
be
would
like,
anyway.
like just do selfies in front of a sign or whatever.
Right.
I'm at the Tiger King Zoo. You know.
Yeah. Ugh.
Plus, how many Joe Exotic Halloween costumes are we going to see this
Oh,
year?
everybody's dressing like him. I'm already getting mine ready. No.
Yeah, if you're not Joe Exotic, you're Carol. If you're your man on a leash dressed as a tiger,
Dude, that's the MVP pick for this year. Like, if you really want to win your parties, don't go as Joe Exotic. Go as Carol, and have your significant other, friend, whatever, go as her creepy new husband. In his tiger costume on a leash.
in his tiger costume.
That's for sure the move. Also, there's going to be a bunch of people going as what's his name? His first boy toy that had the meth mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of those Joe Bob teeth or whatever they're called sold for people
Summer
to
teeth.
be. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, it's almost gonna be a hack move to do Joe Exotic for Halloween.
Right. Or the other move will be going as Carol's, previous husband.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All mauled and shit.
Right.
I mean, that would be actually funny.
My personal favorite would be, like, if it wasn't for wanting to, if it wasn't for the idea of shaving, would be I'd totally go as Jeff, because oh my god, how much ridiculousness. I mean, I just trying to find those jeans and those shirts again. Just oh god.
Well, you just go to like a secondhand store.
Yeah,
because no one wears that shit anymore.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's totally the move.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like affliction shirt, jeans that are not ripped by today's standards, but shredded pretty much. Like, looks like a tiger attacked them, basically.
Right.
Got to have your do-rag on, and then whatever pretentious hat.
Yeah, your flat bill, like skateboard hat that the guy's probably never even actually looked at a skateboard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
yeah. Ugh. Turd City, USA, right there.
For sure. But after the quarantine lifts, if it does in time for Halloween, that, every one of those Party City or, Halloween USA type stores is going to just be overflowed with costumes.
Halloween Town right now, whoever owns that is watching Tiger King just jacking off.
For sure.
I can't wait.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I kind of want a Tiger King wig.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty epic.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'd probably wear that,
I mean, honestly, my only real goal for Halloween is to make a Tiger King jack-o'-lantern.
All right. I think you should make
If I could do a Joe Exotic jack-o'-lantern, I think that'd be awesome.
No. For jack-o'-lantern, the move is definitely his first husband.
I mean, you could do both of them.
Yeah. Anyway, good fun though.
Yeah, but man, that is. I mean, I've seen some crazy documentaries before because I love a good documentary. That one is.
Yeah, and of course, for anyone listening, Tony and I we very much know that whenever a documentary is made, there's always an agenda.
Oh
so
yeah, for sure.
Clearly, that was made to be ridiculous. Oh, did you see? Here's a question for you. Did you see who the Tiger King said who he picked to play him in a movie?
Oh God, I saw it, but I don't remember.
Okay, well, the obvious pick was David Spade because of Joe Dirt, you know.
Oh yeah.
But the other was Brad Pitt.
I mean, I saw Dax Shepard said he would love to play him.
I imagine that there's a lot of people who would love to. See, the move would be to see how many guys you could get to play him and just do the movie with, like, every scene is a different one.
That would be amazing.
Right? You just, at the end, you're just like, you know, and thanks to the 300 actors who played Tiger King in this.
Yeah, that would actually be quite amazing if they could pull that off.
Yeah.
Or like every fit is a different actor.
Yes, even that would work. Or a different era through the movie kind of a thing would be fun.
It's got some of the, you know, best, like, screen caps and shit that I've seen, though, because, like, you know, guess what, motherfucker? I've seen that a million times now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I saw a guy, and this guy one, he was on the ball. Two, it's a brilliant move. He got a custom credit card that has Joe Exotic saying, "I will never financially recover from this."
Yeah, that one's been
That's
used.
a brilliant credit card.
Yeah, that one's been used a ton right now, too, because obviously, you know, the other stuff going on in the world. But
so I mean, it's. I was thinking about this though. This is exactly what Joe Exotic wants.
Oh, totally.
Everyone knows who he is now.
Yeah,
everyone.
I've read quite a few things where they've mentioned that he's just eating this up.
Oh, I bet I'm sure he's just like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
Yeah. And I mean,
because what he always wanted to be was a celebrity.
Yeah.
And now he literally, I would not be shocked if 95% of America knows who he is.
Yeah. Well, again, that documentary or docu-series is, you know, the #1 trending thing on Netflix, I think, for like the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, it was perfectly timed. Everyone's at home.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's saying something, too, that nothing else has overtaken. Like, it didn't die off after a week. You know, you're getting that ripple effect to where people are like, all right, fine, I'll check it out. You know,
well, it's because, I mean, like, and I'll get into it later in our thing here, but we did a little virtual happy hour.
Yeah.
And our buddy Dave Decker hadn't watched it yet. And everybody that was in the happy hour was like, dude, you need to watch it. And he was finally like, okay, I'll probably check it out.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just the same thing. Like, you know, like even at work, I'm like, have you seen Tiger King? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Have you? Or when they say no, I'm like, you need to watch it.
Yeah. I just feel like it's one of those things that you just need to watch. And I've seen a lot of people that are like, you know, I'm a couple episodes in and I don't see the draw of it. And it's like, you're just not the kind of person who's into train wrecks, apparently. You know,
cringe TV.
Because that's really what it is it's just, like I said, every new person they introduced is maybe a bigger piece of shit than the previous person they introduced.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have very many redeeming people in there.
No, really, you don't. That's the thing. It's like, you know, like, you feel bad maybe for the guys that, you know, he essentially, you know, groomed with drugs and took advantage of, you know.
Right.
But even then, I until they really put that thought in your head, you don't really feel that way. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And then when they say it, it's like, oh, that's predatory behavior, man. That's definitely not cool. I mean, you know, there's nobody from minute one except for maybe the guys or the last guy who loves Joe Exotic that will tell you that there's redeeming qualities to Joe Exotic, you know?
Right, exactly. But it's kind of weird because at the same time, towards the end of the thing, I almost felt bad for him.
Yeah.
You know, there's parts where you're like, God, I don't really think he's deserving what he's getting.
Yeah. Because it does. It feels like he gets heaped on toward the end because everyone basically is like, "Ooh, there's the scapegoat," and they just start dumping on him. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
But he also does kind of make his bed there. You know, so it's.
Oh yeah, he's definitely sowed his own seeds and all that shit. But at the same time, I was like, man.
I think the reason I felt that way is because the other people don't seem to get their comeuppance.
Right.
You know, like everybody just about involved feels like they should be in jail.
Yeah, for sure, right?
You know, but he's the only one, as of the end of the docu-series previously, he's the only one in jail. Now, again, they do say at the end that there may be charges coming, So, who knows? We'll see.
Who knows?
All right, we should move on because, we've talked about that for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
But we did promise last week. You said you were going to finish it, so, it was kind of expected that we were going to wrap up there.
Consider it wrapped.
Yeah. Dude, our weather has been really nice here the last few days. Like, the temperatures have rocketed up
outside
for us and everything. And, of course, this time of year, that makes me miserable because allergies. And it's like we're getting days near 70, and I'm in bed just clutching my head because my sinuses are so bad.
Just wrecked, huh?
Dude, I woke up yesterday, and my throat was sore. I was coughing, and I'm like, oh, no. Because
oh, God, COVID.
I was kind of achy, and I felt like I was... I was warm. I woke up and I was like sweaty,
Right.
And all it turns out is that it was just because the temperature outside went up and, we don't have the air on. So, my body, how I am, I don't deal with heat well. So when it gets like 70 outside, inside the house, it gets warmer for a little bit because of the sun on it,
Right.
And that's all it was. I just, I had a blanket on me. So it was like... That's all it was. I just, must have been sleeping so soundly that...
You started baking.
Yeah, when I woke up, I was like, oh, boy. And I'm like, oh, no. And I get up and, take my, various medicines for my allergies and stuff. And, about half an hour later, I was starting to feel better. I was like, okay, good.
Yeah, thank God.
I mean, you can't help it right now, right? Like,
I know.
You get the
as soon as
least...
you feel kind of like shit. You're like, oh, God.
Yeah.
The Rona.
The Rona, yeah. It's like, fuck, and it's like, Heno and I talked about this on Crazy Life, too, It's like you just said, you wake up with any little thing that's one of the symptoms, and you're like, oh, no.
Yeah, like last week at work, like halfway through the day, I was like, my throat started to hurt. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And I realized I'm like, it's because I'm yelling out shit to dude I'm working with.
You just need a lozenge.
Because it's so loud,
Yeah. Yeah, that's, yeah, it's definitely one of those parts where, like, your paranoia is definitely ratchets up a little bit.
Yeah.
On something. I mean,
yeah, obviously no one wants to get it.
No, not at all. Yeah.
And
again, I mean,
there's a slim part of me that's like, just get it over with.
If you knew 100% that once you had it, you couldn't get it again, I'd probably have some of that feeling too. But, that's still not 100%.
Still up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, oh boy. But anyway, we don't want to talk about that a whole bunch. But
no. Besides, say the Rona sucks.
Yeah. But going back to like the allergies and stuff, because the pollen count's really high again this year. Big surprise. Like it's every year when it becomes pollen season, they're like, "Oh, get ready! This year's gonna be rough." And it's like you said the same thing last year. I'm just now assuming. Yeah, I'm just now assuming every year is going to be worse. And,
yeah, for sure.
And when it's not going to be, then sound the alarm and say, "Hey, it's actually going to be better this year." Otherwise, you don't even have to say anything. All of us allergy sufferers are just going to assume it's going to be horrible out there.
Yeah. Like pollen, it's coming.
Yeah. Like I go outside and I immediately am all stuffed up and, either that or my nose just starts, running like crazy. Like when I was in the store the last time, and that's fun because I'm trying not to sneeze the whole time. And, that was before the whole.
Funny too. When you're in the store and someone coughs and you look at them like, fuck.
Like everyone spreads from them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone jumps back 5 feet,
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man.
It's nuts, man. This is such a weird, wild time.
I know. I know it's just getting worse and worse because it's like obviously the cases are going up in Ohio, so it's like today I had to go to the store because we didn't have any vegetables, and it's like I really don't want to go, but we need to eat.
Well, and the other thing is like as of tomorrow here, they're going to the so many people in a store at a time limit. Yeah. So there's going to start being lines at the store, outside the stores here, whereas we have not had that yet in Ohio. Well, at least in Toledo. I don't know about the rest of Ohio. But
we drove by somewhere today. I think it was today. It might have been yesterday. That they had people lined up outside the store.
okay, well maybe it went into effect today then. I was thinking
where
tomorrow.
the fuck it was though.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah, but anyway, it's still
Yeah.
So that's gonna.
I can't wait for all this shit to be over.
I know, man. Right? It's
one because obviously people dying is never a good thing.
right. Yeah.
but I mean, selfishly, I miss going and doing things.
Yeah. Well, even just going to the store and not like looking around suspiciously the whole time.
Yeah, I know. I don't talk to anybody. I don't touch anything.
Yeah.
If I don't have to.
Like you're in the
stay
store
away
and
from her. It's like it's a completely different animal going to the store.
Well, like I said, it's like I'm sure people see me in there and I'm sweaty and my nose is runny or whatever, and they're like, "Oh God," like I'm patient zero walking around in there, and it's like, "No, I swear it's just allergies," and they're like, "Yeah, sure it is, asshole."
Yeah, like sure.
'Cause I'm getting sprayed with mace.
I had to go to the butcher shop right up the road from me here.
Mm-hmm.
And a dude in there was like he bouncing around like we were all had the same polarity magnets on or whatever. Like he would get near nobody.
Yeah.
He gambited his credit card at the cashier and
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to sign. She's like, well, you need to, because cashier there's got she's a couple light bulbs short of a full thing of light bulbs. Sort of fuck I'm saying.
Yeah.
But,
really selling your point there.
Yeah. So, but it's just like
a couple light bulbs shy of a Happy Meal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just, man, I'm just ready for this shit to be over.
Yeah.
We did go to the park yesterday. Went to Maumee Bay State Park because, she's never been out there.
Is it still open? I take it then.
It's still open.
Because I saw some parks are down. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the trails are closed out there, like the ones like the boardwalk one where you can't. You have to be close to people if you walk up on them.
Right.
And the lodge is closed. But what really sucked is all the bathrooms are closed.
Yeah, that's my brother was talking about that because he still has to go out and get stuff for like my grandma and stuff, and he was like, he's like, unless I'm in a store like a grocery store, he's like pretty much everywhere's bathrooms are closed.
Yeah.
Because before, maybe you run into
it didn't
fast
affect
food.
me at the park because I just saddled up to a tree. You were fine.
Sure.
But then when Michelle had to use the bathroom, then it's like, oh, well, now we need to leave.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to, but...
I could saddle up to a tree as well.
Yeah, right?
So, but it was actually really nice to get out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Just to walk around and not, break the monotony. Hey, at monotony on Twitter.
Right.
Break the monotony of just being at the house every day.
Right. Yeah.
Especially for her because she's, immune compromised, so she doesn't go out unless she absolutely has to.
Yeah. Well, and plus she's working from home too, right?
So also, so she's pretty much like
constantly there. Yeah.
Constantly at the house.
Right. That's what I forgot who it was I was talking with the other day, and I mentioned that to him. I said, people who are working right now, I said, it's such a weird thing because it's such a double-edged sword. Because on one hand, you still have some normalcy, plus paycheck, obviously. But but on the other hand, it's like obviously you're in a higher risk level because of going out,
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's where I'm at because it's like I'm glad I'm still working because I'm still making money.
Right. But on the other hand,
every day I'm at risk.
Yeah. I hear you.
And it's like, and they, it's really weird because I heard we got orders from around the country we're picking up because they're closing plants.
Oh, right.
But they cut all of our overtime now.
Okay.
Yeah, like normally I would used to go in a little early so I could set up all my shit, and get ready for everyone to come in and annoy the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can't do that because they're like, hey, you can't come in a half hour early. We were supposed to work 10 hours on Friday, and then we're supposed to work Saturday. They're like, we're not doing that anymore. I mean, we're super busy, but
are they
overtime because I'm assuming it's because they're losing revenue.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense though, I guess.
It's like once the wave of shit hits our area, I mean, I would imagine they're going to shut down.
I would think so, right?
I mean, they had a rough time running Friday because there wasn't enough people there.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say the one thing, they did tell us, like, hey, if the plant shuts down, we're going to pay for 80 hours for you.
Oh, really?
But it's like, if it goes past that, then what? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I have vacation I can use, but I really don't want to use it for that. But at the same time, what am I doing?
Yeah. Right.
Because
Yeah.
like I was gonna take my kids on a road trip this summer, and I'm like, fuck, if this doesn't end, where the fuck are we gonna go?
There's a good chance.
You can't do anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's the thing is, I've seen so many people that are like, oh, in June and July, and I'm like, I don't think things are gonna be back to normal by then.
Like my parents are, down in South Carolina right now because, Chuck was like, well, if we gotta get locked inside, I'd rather be somewhere where it's warm.
I mean, can't be mad at that, right?
Left,
yeah.
And I was like, well, I could visit them, but I don't want to take a chance of bringing anything to them.
Right. And that's the thing is like, that's the whole thing is it's like, there's not going to be a vaccine for this until into next year, Yeah. So it's like, we're still going to be running these risks. Like, even if things are less quarantined, I don't know. I've read so much stuff, but, like about that we may have to quarantine again, that things may open up slowly. But it was like, I've also read that in China, in the areas where they open things up, there was like an immediate spike.
It's popping off again, yeah.
Yeah, so they shut it back down. And it's like, so a lot of it will depend on, as much as I hate it to be this way, a lot of it will probably depend on our leadership,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, what's going to have to happen is fucking shit's got to change.
Yeah.
Because if it keeps going and people can't work and people are going to need help.
Yep.
And it's gonna change.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know if it becomes universal basic income time or
Yeah, right. I know. It's
something.
a whole...
I mean, something's got to break. Like I was out of curiosity, I just paid my mortgage payment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Because they had a red bar and like, COVID-19, here's our stuff. So I was like, oh, I'll click on it and see what they say because you never know, it might affect me. And like what they're doing, and I was like, oh, you scumbags. Is they're like, yeah, we'll give you 3 months. You don't have to worry about it. But that fourth month, you owe us everything. It's like, how does that help?
It doesn't. That's credit card companies, basically. Like, when they're like, oh, 6 months, interest free. But on that 7th month, you owe interest on all that back money. Even if you paid it all the way down to $1, you owe all that full amount of interest all the way through, So, yeah.
Yeah, like they're like, well, for example, if John's mortgage is $1,000 and, he takes 3 months off when he owes us, the $3,000 from the deferred payments and $1,000 for the current month.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Right?
So I'm not working for 3 months.
Yeah. Then you're supposed to pull
all of it.
Then you're supposed to pull $4,000 out of your ass. Like,
it's stupid.
Where's that come from? You're not going to be working 600 hours. Like,
yeah. It's like, oh, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
How does it? Hey, I read that. And I just started like just chuckling. I was just like, oh, you.
What's
fucking
too bad is
scumbags,
right, because realistically, I mean, they could do something like there could be a way for them to rewrite it into where they just extend it, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
It's basically like you click pause.
Right. Like, okay, we'll give you 3 months off, but
but
instead
you owe
of
3 months on the back end.
Exactly. And it's like, and I think everybody would pretty much go, okay, cool. I'm not worried about losing my house now. I've already committed to 90 years of paying you, so what's 3 more months? Like
Exactly.
And I feel like cars could do the same thing. Anything financed really could do this, and it wouldn't be a big deal.
No, it won't be a big deal at all.
Like,
except for their pocketbooks.
Oh, yeah.
Because all these places like, oh God, we're gonna close. We never planned for such an event. Well, I don't know what to tell you, bro. No one did.
Yeah, right. Oh, shit. I know, right?
Yeah.
It's
all
so fucked
up right
now. Well,
now.
and the worst part of the whole thing is since we've not been through this as a world in a long time, realistically, most people alive have never been through something like this, because the last time there was any big plague was back in the, 1800s or whatever, or early 1900s.
There was a couple people that like, I survived the Spanish flu and now I got COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There are a couple people like that, or at least one. There was one guy that has made it through both, and I'm like, seriously, if there's a, Purple Heart equivalent of something heaven gives, I feel like that dude gets it. Like, you know what? You get a couple extra years, bro, at good health. Like, we're not even going to take your health away. We're going to let you have the health, and you get like 3 more years.
They're like, you know what, man? We're going to give you them Gucci angel wings.
Right. Yeah. That motherfucker earned them. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, right.
But,
Jesus Christ is right.
Like, come on now. Also, it's like, like living through 2 plagues. Jeez.
I know, right?
Yeah. So what else you been up to this week?
Oh man. Well, dodging the COVID, obviously.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, I know both of us, our intentions not to really heap on this, talk about this, but it's like you and I don't get a chance to really.
Everything.
Well, and you and I haven't really had it. We don't have the chance to really talk like we normally do because we can't go have some pints and we can if my internet doesn't act like an asshole.
True,
I'm sorry. It was it wasn't my
talking to
internet. I'm sorry. That was my
responsible bonfires.
Oh God.
Everyone stays far away from each other. You bring your own drinks. You just kind of hang out.
I mean, in fairness, the CDC is still saying not to do that stuff. I just want to put that out there for everybody.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
Just being the responsible person.
Yeah.
But
I did do. Yeah, we hosted a virtual happy hour, and it was one of those things where I'm like, you know what? I said on the show, fuck it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be really, really good. Zoom kind of suspect.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, we had some fun with it, and I read some shit. And actually, it's funny. Skype just put out a thing now where they're like, yeah, you can. We're going to do the same thing, but you don't even have to have a login. You just click the link and you're in the thing.
Oh, that's so smart. See, finally, Microsoft uses their power for good.
Well, because, we were already had the thing going. And I have to say, the one thing I was worried about Zoom is the 40-minute thing.
Yeah.
When 40 minutes up, I had a pop-up window. It's just like, hey, we're waiving the 40 minutes thing for the time being. Just your meeting's still going. I was like,
okay.
All right, well, that's kind of cool. Mm. But the one thing that happened was, Annalise posted in the little group I started for that virtual happy hour. She's like, hey, I need an account to get in, and I don't have one. I'm like, oh, shit, I thought you just click,
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, like, well, that's a bummer. Annalise can't join.
Really? You have to have an account, huh?
Apparently. But then
all right.
Neil had an account. He got home from work and set her up, which was great because
I could have. I don't know.
Zoom is like it connects, and you can see them, but they're not connected yet. So I see Neil looking at the screen, he's fixing his hair and shit. It was pretty hilarious.
Sure, well, classic Neil right there. Yeah,
classic Neil. But no, the whole thing was cool. I mean, it just ended up being mostly people from in Toledo that you and I know.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then Megan from Screams and Moans.
Right.
If you can still listen to the podcast, I'm not sure if she's ever going to start a new one or not.
Yeah.
She hopped on, but I give her credit.
But
it
if
was
not,
1 in the morning Britain time.
Yeah, right. I was going to say, but if not, go check out the episode that we were on of her show, Screams and Moans.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a blast.
That was a blast. That's what I told her. I'm like, and it's funny too because when she started talking, I was like, oh my God, Megan, you've got a tinge of a British accent going now. She's like, I wasn't quite sure. But so, it was people we know from Toledo. She popped on, and then Annalise popped on a little later.
Cool.
So, yeah, we had a lot of fun. And we just sat there and just basically just shot the shit.
Right.
And I saw, people plan activities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've seen people doing quiz, trivia and stuff.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's what I was kind of thinking, more than halfway through. I'm like, I should have had some, because there's a couple times you just get dead air, and then I feel like my podcaster kicked on, so I'm like, "Hey, so and so, what do you think about
Yeah, right.
Just to get the quote unquote show rolling.
I've actually seen a couple people post where realistically they're running a podcast and they don't even realize it, because they will bring a couple of topics so that if there's a slow moment, they can kind of throw a topic out there to kind of get things going again.
That's kind of what I was doing.
Yeah, and I was
but I wasn't. Well, much like this podcast, I wasn't at all prepared.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
that makes sense.
But there's a lot of places that let you play games virtually with people.
Yeah.
So we were talking about doing another one, playing Cards Against Humanity.
Right.
But I mean, we had fun.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. And it was socializing with people,
right,
which I was kind of craving at the time.
Right.
Just because it's as much as I'm not an extrovert per se,
mm-hmm.
I like talking to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. More than just with words.
Well, I was thinking I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, really, this would probably be the perfect time for us to get back to doing some enthusiasts.
Well, you know what? You're not wrong.
Because a lot of people are captive audience right now, so we might have, might be easier to schedule somebody. Plus, we work schedules aren't quite the same, and
Right.
Anyway,
yeah, you are not wrong.
we can workshop that later. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Did you see with Zoom, like there's been a lot of like nerdy people out there like hacking into group chats and stuff.
Yeah, I have seen that.
I guess there's a bunch of schools now that have abandoned Zoom because it's not secure.
Yeah, apparently the security is right out, basically.
Yeah, the CEO, I think he was quoted as saying that they've had some missteps, and I'm like, nah, bro, when someone can hack into like an elementary school like class chat and just start posting like, really offensive images and words and stuff like that, it's like that's more than just a misstep. That's a fuck up. Like
it's a definite fuck up.
I believe they call those snafus, if I'm not mistaken. And
yeah.
So just to anyone out there, I'm going to have a link in the old show notes from, I believe it's from Wired, that's how to keep Zoom chats private and secure. And this is from today, I believe, or yesterday. So it's fairly accurate, or recent. I did see that Zoom did say that they've like stopped working on new features and they're going to put all their effort into upping their security. But like you said, when Skype was like, hey, you can use our service and and Skype is way more secure than...
Right.
It's still not 100% secure because like, otherwise, like, medical professionals, like when you do telemed, you would just use Skype, but you don't, they have these other more secure things, since you're obviously, you're discussing private information.
Right.
But yeah, so if anyone out there is going to be using Zoom for your happy hours and stuff, you might want to take a look at this. Make sure your settings are as, tight as possible for that kind of thing, and make sure you share that with your friends and what have you, because, you certainly, I mean, like if someone hacked into like our chat and started drawing penises, we'd just be like, what the fuck? Because I remember back when Dell used to do BT140, every once in a while, like when he would open the chat after the show was over, sometimes people would just jump in, and basically it would almost be like, chat roulette or something. Like one in every so many would just be somebody just beaten off, basically. And we would usually just ridicule them. And, then he would boot them out.
The proper move.
But what should happen essentially is like if it's your room, somebody should have to essentially, you should be able to see their camera kind of a thing before they're allowed in the room, and then you like, or you are a moderator or whatever, and then okay them being added type of a thing.
For sure.
But whatever, it's.
But yeah, I mean the whole virtual happy hour is odd, but I mean I actually disconnected like all my podcast shit.
Yeah.
I took it upstairs. We sat out on our front porch because it was so nice out.
Oh,
I was gonna wire it up so we could sit at the bar behind me here.
Oh yeah, nice.
I was just gonna wire everything up and have like the people up on the TV, and I was like, oh, this would be perfect. But I was like, dude, it's so nice out. I want to just sit out on the porch and enjoy the weather.
Sure.
And had some random old guy walking his dog because I got those Calvin Hobbes in my front here, so which I actually got to take down because they're building snowmen.
Right.
The season's past.
Has it though?
Some guy out there yelling about Calvin and Hobbes, and I was just like, what? I got my headphones on. I'm like, hi. And the whole thing was weird, but it was fun.
He's like, I recognize him. Why isn't he pissing on something?
Basically, right?
Next week, the guy comes by. You have a cutout of that old guy with Calvin pissing on him. Then the guy asks you if he can buy it because he really wants it.
That thing is great, man.
Like,
But yeah, that'll be something that happens again because it was fun.
Yeah, cool.
And it was good to talk to people.
Yeah. Well, here's something funny. So I thought that it was my computer doing an update because it was running super slow, and that's usually what it is.
Right.
Turns out somehow I unpaused the Call of Duty download.
Oh, boy.
What was going on was my internet was, downloading that massive Call of Duty update. I have now downloaded because once I realized it was already downloading, I was like, oh, it's almost done. I might as well just let it finish. And yeah, there's no way we're not going to go over this month because, I mean, WrestleMania and yeah, so.
Well, maybe you'll get some sort of weird waiver because of everything going on. But it's Buckeye Cable. They give 0 fucks.
Yeah, they've already put out a commercial that's basically like, hey, we're here for you, and and like most companies right now, they've shifted from a, hey, buy our product to a, hey, don't forget we exist when this goes over, or like you were saying with the mortgage thing, my favorite is the ones where, like, when you were getting all those emails from companies, and most of them were like, hey, or like my storage, it was like, don't forget, you can still pay us online. I'm like, oh, thank God. I was so worried I wasn't going to be able to get you your money.
I was sweating trying to figure out how I was going to get you my money.
Yeah.
Assholes.
Yeah. And, yeah. Whereas you have other internet providers around the country who've uncapped data and stuff like that. Buckeye decided not to go that route.
Well, because they're scumbags, Brian.
Yeah, right. So.
Yeah. Our internet's probably going to crash any second because I'm sure they're listening. Every time you hear... Like, Buckeye gets picked up on her filters and probably immediately dial into it.
Yeah.
Like, they're talking shit, shut them down.
Yep, probably. Yeah, all this time we thought it was Skype, and it's not.
Yeah, it's just Buckeye getting dicks.
Yeah, the whole time Skype's been listening. You're like, hey, we like these guys. Let's make sure the feed's nice and clean. And Buckeye's like, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck these
Shut
guys.
it down.
I'm halfway through a movie right now because I given the time, because it's so light out, it kind of fucked me up. I thought it time to watch a movie for a podcast.
Yeah.
But Disney Plus, they put Onward, which is the new Pixar movie, to stream because it came out in theaters like early March.
Yeah.
And no one's going to the movies right now, right?
Right. And instead of really putting like that extended, window of pay-per-view kind of thing out there, they just went ahead and put it on their streaming service,
which is a smart move. But let me tell you what, Brian, you want a movie to probably tug at your heartstrings too.
Yeah, I've heard.
Do you know the concept?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. if you're part of Dead Dad Club, don't watch this movie.
Well, it was like when the first time I watched Big Fish.
Oh yeah.
Like for anyone who hasn't watched Big Fish, it's an older movie, but isn't that a Tim Burton movie, or is that?
Yeah, I think it is a Tim Burton movie. Yeah.
And anywho, the concept behind it is basically like this guy's dad tells fish stories in the essence of every time,
like at concerts and stuff you went to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, but like the old every time he tells a story, it gains something to it or whatever. And this whole time, the kid's heard his dad's stories a million times. He doesn't want to hear them anymore. They're boring. Fast forward to his dad gets cancer, and which that's how my dad went. So that was a real kick in the ding ding. But but
I don't know why I struck that.
Yeah, and it's from Edging Christian's podcast. But there's a scene in it where he goes to visit his dad, and his mom hands him an Ensure. And dude, I just started bawling because my dad was on, drinking Ensure before, like when he could still, before he had to have a feeding tube put in. So,
right,
and I'm just like, and I didn't have a clue this was coming. Well, Jen had already seen the movie. Jen was my girlfriend at the time, the co-host of The Crazy Life. She had already seen it and knew I was watching it and didn't warn me.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, how are you not going to warn me about this? And I'm just like blubbering like a baby over it because it just, you know how it is. Just certain things just punch you right in the gut,
Yeah.
And, things you wouldn't, it's kind of like, on sitcoms and stuff, how they'll make fun of, like, once you're a parent, you used to see those AT&T reach out and touch someone commercials, and they'd make people cry and most of us are like, what are you crying about? And then people have kids or a family member who's died, and all of a sudden those commercials ring home, and now you're like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I hear you, man. I know I saw someone else kind of post a little warning about, like, if you've lost your dad, this movie is going to make you cry.
It's so far it's an entertaining movie because obviously Pixar everything they do is great, basically.
Right.
And it's got a lot of D&D overtones, and it's like set in like a fantasy world where magic stops, but it's still like, yeah, I dig the movie so far. But like the whole driving storyline, as a proud member of the DDC, it's like, oh God. Like all they want is to spend like one day with their dad.
Right.
It's like, God damn it, I totally feel
And
bad.
who doesn't? Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who of us in the DDC don't want that one more day?
Yeah. I mean, there's one part in the movie where the dude pulls out a cassette tape because it's got his dad's voice on it and just listens to it. Like, and I'm like, I wish I had a cassette tape.
Dude.
You know?
Well, you know the story with me on that, right? Like I found my dad's. Yeah, for those who don't know, I found my a cassette, like a recorder, like people used to use like in classes to record like lecture or whatever. My dad had one, and he used to talk, into the thing at times and whatever. And I went through. There were like 3 or 4 tapes when I found it. None of them have his voice on them. And it was like, when I found it, I just immediately had this swell of hope. Like, oh my God. Like, I don't even care if he's going check, like, whatever it is.
Thing work?
Yeah, right. I don't even care what it is. And it's like, when that was like, there's nothing on here. I was like, and then it's like heartbreak again, Cause,
yeah, for sure.
Because now that hope is dead,
I mean, that's the thing I am grateful for / scared by is I've got all this content on the internet forever.
Yeah.
That, my ancestors could be like, well, your great-great-great-grandfather, this is what he did. He he drank this mystical elixir called Baltica once, and then he started making dick jokes. We don't understand.
We have not made a Baltica reference in I don't know how long. It is the Tsar of beers.
It's the Tsar of beers.
And the official Russian beer of the Salty Language podcast.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so, pretty fucked up. But, I mean, I'm going to finish tomorrow because, I have to finish it. I started it, but...
Yeah, right.
Oofa, that's all I can say.
Well, I'm glad you warned me because I was planning on watching it. So at least I can go in and, have a box of tissues next to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like take a day and meditate and try to get a little deader inside.
Way ahead of you. Oh boy! All right.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I got that going for me. Yeah, I went hard in the paint this weekend on cheat day.
I saw.
Boy,
your
that
post.
was a rough day.
I figured the next day would be the rough day.
Yeah, that was part of it too. Because it was one of those things, like the past couple of weekends, we've been like, oh, it's cheat day. And it's like, okay, we have like a little bit of candy, and that was about it. And it's like, man, I need to take, because nothing's open. I can't go get like a pancake breakfast or something stupid,
right? Well, you could just carry out, which...
Yeah, that's true.
Meh.
Yeah, I want my pancakes fresh off that grill.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, man, that was a rough day. It was chili dogs and a milkshake and pizza and...
Do you know what it was? Hard. If I didn't know better, I'd swear you were filming a commercial for an antacid. Because at the end of it, if you would have been like, oh, I can't believe I ate all that, and then popping some Tums, it would have been perfect.
I mean, I'm pretty sure after the pizza, which was delicious, by the way, a little hungry. I always actually haven't done that in a while.
Nor have I, yeah.
I'm pretty sure if I would have like went wading into the ocean, I would have been communicating with whales by the noises my guts were making. It was horrifying. I'm just sitting on the couch like I should die. Take me now, Corona.
No. You're too strong for that, my friend.
That was rough, man.
I mean, it looks like you enjoyed it all the way through, at least.
Oh, I did. It was a blast.
Yeah. Dude, like, as I'm seeing your pictures, and I'm like, because I'm like, okay, and then partway through the day, I'm like, man, Tony's going pretty hard today. Like, this is, when I got to the chili dogs part, I was like, damn, he's really going in the paint on this one. And
well, it's funny because we that was the day we went to the park. So we went to Kroger's, and it was like, let's just grab something to munch on and whatever, grab a little Nutter Butters and stuff.
Yeah.
And then which is great because I used it today. My parents called me, like my mom called me. She's like, "Hey, did you ever buy that grill you're talking about?" I'm like, "No, I just haven't had a chance to go." And she's like, "Oh, well, Chuck wants to get a new one. He said he can have his old grill." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" I know he takes care of his shit. You know,
yeah.
It's got a couple little rust spots on it, but whatever. It's nice, whatever grill.
Free, yeah.
Free. So so after we left the park, I'm like, well, let me go to my mom's and get this grill because I'm using it this weekend.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
I want a grill.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's no sense in letting it sit there all by itself, lonely, meatless, you know?
Yeah, exactly, right?
That's just cruel.
But the exit I was getting off on to head to my mom's house has like Monroe's Coney dog or whatever up there. And I'm like, man, I'm thinking to myself, like, chili dogs sound really good. I haven't had chili dog. So I looked at Michelle, I'm like, what do you think about chili dogs? She's like, oh, okay.
She's like, sounds like a nightmare tonight and tomorrow, but all right.
Like, I sure hope they're open.
Yeah.
Boy, were they.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of the lines around here for like Nettie's the last few days have been, ridiculous. Like people, because, they just reopened, I think. For those who don't know.
Craving any sort of normalcy, too.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, like,
get some ice cream.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say Nettie's has like chili dogs and milkshakes and, shit like that. So it's, that's basically what they do.
Yeah.
Usually they make the bulk of their money off of baseball teams, I'm guessing.
Not this year.
Not this year. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad to see that kind of thing though too, because again, local, always glad to see people supporting local. So.
Oh yeah.
But
I could give a shit if no one goes to TGI Fridays.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I follow. Well, I know I've mentioned on the show many times. Greg's Grill, one of my favorite little restaurants.
Yeah.
Follow him on Facebook. They've been closed the past few days, but then this weekend he's like, "Which pancakes?"
Right.
He was like, "Hey, we're gonna do just pancake breakfast for takeout. Anyone interested?" And people were posting like, "Oh yeah, let me know when. I'll take 4." And you know, it was so because people want to support the restaurants too. I'm sure they miss the food.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Well, plus a lot of people, like I know Heno does this, like once a week, Heno goes to like a place, by him and just has breakfast. Like that's like a ritual, he does it on his day off. He goes and just sits and, enjoys himself and enjoys the food and everything. And, that's gone, he's still going and supporting them and getting his breakfast. But speaking of, really quick, I got a sidetrack here. Congrats to Heno hitting 13 years sobriety recently also.
I'm sipping on some bourbon, yes.
I was trying not to laugh, yeah. But yeah, definitely, kudos to him for the work and everything he's done on that. So
yeah, that's a hell of a commitment.
Yep.
And I give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I've cut way back on my drinking, which I think is fine.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy now.
Yeah.
At first, when, in the bad times of life, Brian, I was really knocking back some beers on a pretty regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how that swells up your waistline, for one.
I'll tell you one thing that kills me right now is,
What's up?
dude, I mean, the time of year it is, my friend.
You mean chill wave?
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't had a chill wave.
I haven't had one yet either. I did actually.
Happy about it.
I haven't bought beer in a while because I have some. Yeah. Because I've been very I have maybe a beer a week now.
Right.
Because one, cattle train, whoop whoop.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it's just it just has been an interest to me. Like I've been actually hitting the little spirits a little more.
Yeah.
A little knock a here or there. But today when I was at the veggie store, which happens to have a great beer selection.
As
local.
As they all should.
Yeah. I spied the beer that I'm going to use to reignite the All the Beers pod.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they had a Dragon's Milk Reserve that I knew was out, but I hadn't seen, and it was the coconut, hazelnut, chocolate, aged in rum barrels.
Jesus, that's a lot of things.
Yeah, I wanted it in my life, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, shit. And I'm like, I'm buying this 4-pack of beer, and this is what I'm going to be my first beer to kick off all the beers again.
I like it. Yeah. Makes sense. Good call.
Because I do kind of miss the craft beers a little bit. It's just, when you're drinking them just to pass time as opposed to just to enjoy the flavor.
Yeah. Well, that's where, like you said, that's where the spirits come in, is if you're going to have something to just enjoy the flavor, you just pour yourself a little nip of whiskey or something, and yeah, exactly.
I mean, the other day I was, I had that nice cigar, a nice glass of some, bullet rye. I'm like, this is fucking living, bro.
Right.
It just was a nice little evening out on the front porch.
Right.
Because that's why, I was like saying outside, Michelle's like, why don't you come in here and sit? I'm like, I don't want to smoke in our porch when there's the doors open. She's like, I'll close the door. It won't get smoke inside. I'm like, okay. And I was sitting in there. I'm like, this is nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, it does have windows open, so whatever. But
can't do much about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Besides all that.
Yeah. So
and me finally firing up the grill today, which felt brilliant.
Yeah, I bet.
That's been about my week.
Dude, I had to go to the store a few days ago, again for medicine, and man, when I was there, just kind of going through the checklist in my brain of like, I'm already here, so is there anything we need? Because if
I'm out in the wild. I have my AK, my mask on.
Right. Like I might as well get whatever we need while I'm here, so that 2 days from now we're not like, oh crap, we're out of bread or milk or something. So, while I'm there, I'm just walking the store and I'm looking and I'm like, right as I did, like from the back, guy comes out and he's just laying down these steaks and I'm like, like, God, I wish I had a go. Like I gotta get a grill.
If I was thinking, I could have given you my Mr. Barbecue, but we put it up by the curb at Michelle's old house. So I grabbed it already.
Oh, I bet he did.
It's just, that little hibachi I had,
I know.
Tabletop hibachi.
Yeah. That's all. I just need to go get. It stinks because I used to have a little. I mean, it was a little propane grill thing. I don't know if you remember. I had it on the porch
I remember that. Yeah.
But I didn't realize that it got sat out on the patio here, and it's been sitting out there this whole time. I thought it was over in my storage. I was looking for it, and then my sister was like, "Oh no, that's out on the patio here," and I'm like, "Oh, so it's just sat out there for like 5 years." And I looked at it and was like, nope.
Pretty haggard, is it?
Yeah, it's not great. So I was like, I don't think just cleaning this is going to be enough. So
right, one of those situations.
Which is too bad because it wasn't anything expensive. I think we paid like $50 for it. It was it was a nice little gimmick for what it was. But oh well, I'll just that's probably what I'll end up doing at some point, is just grabbing either a little Mr. Barbecue or whatever you called that, or another one like I had, something like that.
I mean, that little Mr. Barbecue I got, it's like a little square.
Yeah.
And it's charcoal.
Right.
And I think it cost me like $30.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I know they have shit like that I can buy. I just haven't. What stinks is like every year, like Target and all the places have grills like stupid cheap after the season,
Yeah.
I just never have the money when that comes up. It's like when I do have the money, it's when grills are at like their full price, and then after the season, there's like $300 grills for like $100 or whatever, or $100 grills. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, damn it. So,
I mean, you could just plan for it and just set grill money aside.
That's what I was thinking, is I just need to start doing that a little bit here, because I really do miss having
like a stand-up grill or something. If you want to do a little hibachi,
because I don't need anything fancy, because it's just for the three of us, and honestly, that's all I need room for, is pretty much to be able to grill for 3 people, which is not much. The people next door have a pretty nice grill, and Scott, my neighbor, is like, hey, anytime you want to use it, just and I'm like, I ain't trying to use your grill, dude. Yeah,
that's like banging his wife.
Yeah. Well, I told my mom, I said I was tempted to buy like steaks for them too, and be like, hey, how about you throw them on the grill? When they're done, just set them on a plate over here, and I'll come out and get them, kind of a thing. That way we can still.
I mean, that's not a bad move.
Be like, hey, for the use of your grill, I'll buy you a couple steaks. Seems like a fair deal, right?
Yeah. Well, see, like today was one of those days where we were out grilling. I had a little fire going, and my neighbors were out too.
Yeah.
And like, if it wasn't for everything going on, I would have been like, hey, you guys want some food? Because we had plenty.
Yeah.
But with everything going on, because I kind of, like, I know my neighbor's name, but we haven't really talked because you can't really hang out in the winter, and now that it's nice out.
Well, and now
you
we
know?
got Rona, so you're not supposed to hang out
exactly.
anyway.
I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just a bummer because it's like I want to get to know my neighbor. Like, no, the people on the one side there's no one there to renovate the house, but on the other side, I'm like, it'd be nice to get to know this guy. We almost share a driveway.
Right. I gotta say, it was really nice. You know, I'm very much the keep to myself type. Like, you know, I know the neighbors on the one side of our place, but I couldn't tell you the name of anybody who lives on the other side of us or across the street, pretty much, because I keep to myself. I've just never been the, you know, really talk to the neighbors type. But on Daytona, it was different because we grew up there, so you know everybody, you know. But
right.
Anyway, my mom was talking with the same neighbors I was referring to already yesterday, and she was talking about how she hasn't been able to find hand sanitizer, you know, and they were like, oh, we were able to get a few bottles at Walmart, and the one neighbor brought out, it was probably a quarter of a bottle still, and was like, well, here, you know, because we need, you know, whatever, but we can spare this. And I was like, that's super nice of them, because you literally cannot find hand sanitizer.
You can't find that shit anywhere.
Yeah, that is literally like handing gold over right now, you know. So that was super nice of them to do, you know. I was able to, and for anyone out there, don't sleep on this necessarily, which is there's like alcohol pads out there that are meant for people who like when I was doing my testosterone shots, when I was giving myself the shots, you know, they told me to buy those pads because, you know, you sterilize the top of the bottle, you sterilize the area. So I have a bunch of these things left over. But they can be used because they're 70% alcohol. So, you know, I was told by a friend of mine, like, that, you know, use those to kind of, you know, clean your hands, like hand sanitizer, basically. And they're individually wrapped, so you could just keep them in your pocket like a wet nap, basically. So, you know. And I picked up 2 more boxes yesterday. They were, like, I will say this. If you do buy them, don't hoard them, though, because there are people out there who do need them for, like I was just talking about, like giving themselves injections or something. But
that's an interesting move, though.
Yeah. So it's like I grabbed a couple of boxes of those for my mom. They were like $1 a box for like 100 of them, you know. So
oh shit, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and like I said, because I know like nobody can find sanitizer right now. Pretty much, it's been nigh impossible to find. So you know.
Yeah, it's not easy.
But again, even if you do use those, as soon as you get home, make sure, you know, full on hand washing, you know.
Exactly.
Make sure for anybody, not just women. I've seen these, like, all sorts of people doing hand washing videos, and I've seen a bunch of them that they don't bother with their nails, like, you know, rubbing your nails into like your palm kind of a thing. And it's like, yeah, make sure you're getting under your nails.
The vicious ones too.
No, these were like women with short nails and stuff. But it was like, for anyone doing it, make sure you're getting under your nails too, because, you know, especially if you're a person who has an affinity for like biting your nails.
Yeah, right.
Which you shouldn't be doing right now. And I'll tell you, as somebody who's bitten their nails for years, it's really hard to break that habit. And I've broken myself of it various times. Like when I first started handling money, what broke me of it was the first time that I saw a dude pull money out of like his jock.
I knew exactly where we were going.
And then I was like, you know, because it's like I touch that money and then I bite my nails. So yeah. That broke me of it for a long time. So now, you know, Rona's trying to break me of it again. So, which is good because it's a terrible habit.
Yeah, absolutely a terrible habit.
I will say I'm going through sugarless gum like crazy now, though, because that's basically how I'm breaking myself of it. Because, you know, it's a nervous habit. So now when I start having that feeling, it's, you know, grab a piece of gum and put it in my mouth instead. Chew the gum instead of, you know.
Right.
Good shit. No, it's not.
Not at all.
No, it isn't. Oh, man. So here's something fun. I don't know if you saw this or not. In the new set of Magic, The Gathering, for the kids who don't know, there's going to be a cycle of cards that have like Godzilla art and names.
Really?
Yeah. Like there's actually going to be a Godzilla and Mothra and Ghidorah Magic cards in existence.
What? Why?
I don't know, because it's fun.
I mean, I guess. That just seems so odd to me.
Well, here's the part that sucks. Was Garrett actually mentioned that this to me in our group, and when I looked into it a little bit afterwards, there was actually a card for Space Godzilla that is where's it at? I'm trying to find. They had to they're having to pull one of them because the name of it was here we go. I found an article.
Please tell me it's just Space Godzilla.
No, actually, if it was just Space Godzilla, there wouldn't have been a problem.
Oh, okay.
The problem is what they named it. And again, for those who don't know, like they named Magic cards like, a while ago. Like for this upcoming set, this stuff was all done months and months ago. All right, come on and load already, would you? Jeez. This is taking way too long, damn it. Sorry for everyone listening. This is awesome audio that I should cut out, but
That's all right.
Nope.
Brilliant. So is it like a Japanese monsters card set, or I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah,
what do they call them?
It's actually
a Geiger card set or something.
Gaiju or Kaiju.
Kaiju, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. There's like a cycle of the cards that have like what is it? Godzilla Primeval Titan or Mothra Supersonic Queen. Space Godzilla, the one that they had has a title inspired by his ultimate attack from Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, which was called the Corona Beam. So the name of the card was Space Godzilla Death Corona.
Oh, I see.
Will now be called Space Godzilla Void Invader, which is not as cool of a name, but also very understandable why they would want to switch the name.
Wait, they said Void Invader?
Yes.
Whose void is he invading?
Well, it depends on who your opponent is, I guess.
Well, first off, I totally disagree by calling him a dinosaur turtle.
Right. Well, the real question here will be, is there any chance of any of the first run ones leaking to the market? Because if so, those are going to be worth gigantic money.
Yeah, for sure, right?
I'm just jazzed more about the idea of really a Godzilla card in Magic.
Oh, well, this is weird. Because I click on this one, like I looked at one, it was like Godzilla something, fucking, and I think it was a dinosaur. No, I mean, it was a turtle. This one's he's a dinosaur. So the Godzilla King of Monsters is a legendary dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one I looked at? It was like a legendary turtle or something stupid.
Oh, that's, oh shit, I can't think of the name of the creature now. Oh, man.
Well, okay, here you go.
I don't remember now. Shit.
Oh, this one I need. This one's mine. Destroy Ya. Perfect life form.
But yeah, these are
Baby Godzilla, Ruin Reborn.
Oh, dude, that movie is so bad.
Godzilla?
No, I'm sorry. It's called like Son of Godzilla. It's actually named something else, but I saw it one time on one of those like afternoon matinee type deals. Oh my god, is it bad? Godzilla's the worst father. He's worse than Kratos or whatever from God of War.
Oh, jeez.
He's so bad. Oh, man.
I'm really surprised they're doing this, and it's kind of cool because it's this weird crossover.
Yeah.
So now, Brian, now I got the question for you.
Time to get back into Magic? You're right.
No.
No? Oh,
no,
right.
I got enough spending problem.
Me too.
What is the next? What sort of like weird Magic the Gathering crossover would you like to see?
Oh, jeez.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
I know what I want to see.
Mine would probably be something in the Lord of the Rings, I guess.
Okay, that'd be cool.
That's the first thing that pops into my head because there's so many races that fit Magic. I guess already exist, like orcs and elves, and there's already dragons. I guess really that wouldn't be much of a stretch. It'd just be slapping names on things that already exist in the world of Magic. So maybe not. Although a Sauron card would be really boss.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. Like a Sauron Planeswalker or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be next
See,
level
I
shit,
got
too.
2.
Okay.
One of them, because I think it'd just be amazing, would be Aliens vs. Predator.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's a bunch of different aliens, a bunch of different predators.
Yeah.
Have good times, whatever.
Yeah.
But the one I really want to see, just because it's my life right now, is Doom.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
There's so demons and zombies and shit, and then of course you got the Doom Slayer.
Yeah, that could be cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A line of movie monsters would be kind of cool too. And I don't mean like Godzilla
like
monsters.
Universal.
No. I mean more. I mean those would be cool too. Yeah. I'm meaning more like not movie monsters. I mean like Jason, Leatherface, Freddy, that kind of shit.
Oh, like
Planeswalkers.
Classic slashers or whatever.
Yeah, as like Planeswalkers or whatever, like Candyman and shit like that. That could be kind of a fun type of deal, which I guess really I should just dust off some markers and start start doing some customs.
I mean, that would be pretty dope. Huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would not expect a Godzilla Magic the Gathering crossover.
Right? And that's why, I heard about it before Garrett mentioned the Corona Beam thing. And I was like, "Oh, sweet," cuz I think there's type one too. I can't remember the name of the creature, or the magic card, But most of them, like, I was like, oh, cool, they're going to have Godzilla-like creatures,
Right.
And then I was like, oh, no, they're going to have Godzilla. Like, awesome.
Yeah, straight up Godzilla.
Now, what I would love to see is, like, an alternate art one of, like, original Godzilla. Like, the horrible rubber suit Godzilla.
Oh, I mean, that would be amazing.
To where instead of it being like art, it's more of like a photograph,
Right.
Of that terrible, terrible suit that is just, near and dear to my heart. That would be so awesome. And I'm sure somebody will do it, but they should release like an alternate art of that or something, or make that like a judge prize or something, I guess. That way it'll be, a $700 card.
Exactly. Sick.
I am curious to see what the rarities and stuff is. Like if they're, because I don't know if these are going to be alternate art to like another card or how exactly they're going to work. But it looks like they're, with them being named like Godzilla and stuff, I can't imagine you'd put other art on them. That wouldn't make a lot of sense.
I wouldn't think so either, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, nope. No. 16 new alternative art cards celebrating beloved kaiju franchise are coming to the expansion. So, there you go. I guess
That's
if I
wild.
just read, it'll tell you.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
Yeah. So, I think that's pretty cool. And fun.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty cool. It's definitely if I was in my heyday of Magic the Gathering, I'd be into it for sure.
Me too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to just get the cards. Like, I kind of just want one of each, But
there's so many Godzilla maniacs out there. They're for sure going to be hunting for them. They're not going to play the game.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yep. And then the people who do play the game, if they're any good, which I haven't read any of the text on the cards to see if, plus I'm so far removed from the game, I couldn't even, like, you know how it is. Like, you could still look at some cards and go, oh yeah, that's good, but also, I don't know, So, I do really appreciate that the new set looks like it's going to be cycling heavy, which has always been one of my favorite mechanics, so.
Right.
Anyway, not that anyone gives a shit, but... It's not often we get to talk Magic, One cool thing Wizards has been doing is since people can't go out and play Friday Night Magic, they've been doing Friday Night Magic via Arena.
Oh, really?
And I guess it's free.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
And my silliness, I haven't bothered the last 2 weeks to try to play. So I need to look at kind of what the format is for the next week. Because, like, this week, I guess, was, like, it was constructed, but it was, like, they opened it up to where you could use cards you didn't even own, basically.
I mean, that seems nice.
That way, the playing field is, well, I can't say the playing field is even, because obviously you have different level of talent, but
cards-wise.
Everyone has the same access, money is not the option or the problem. Like it would be normally for me, I'd be like, I don't have any money to buy the cards I need or to buy packs to try to get the cards I need because you can't buy specific cards in Arena, so.
I see.
Yeah. And you can't trade with people or anything. It's not like MTG Online. So. Right.
It's just you get what you get, huh?
Yeah, basically. I mean, they do have like not mystery. Shit, what are they called? They have like wild cards that when you open a pack, you get a wild card. And you can use a wild card to replace a card you already have. Or to make another copy of it. So if you have 3 of something, you can make your 4th one or whatever. Which is nice, and very helpful. But
yeah,
that's as close as it gets to being able to buy exactly what you need.
It's
not
good. Close enough.
Yeah, it's good and bad. Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, on the upside, playing is, essentially free. But there's a lot of limitations if you don't want to spend any money.
Which that's kind of how I feel. So, like I still enjoy playing Magic. I haven't played it in a long time, but I know I would enjoy play it. I don't want to put any money into it.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a new. My nephew sent me a thing. There's a new like kind of set concept coming out. You remember doing Pack Wars?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, it's taking that concept and it's like, but the packs are built for it essentially. So I guess you can. So the point of it would be for people like us who aren't going to sit down and build decks really anymore, that kind of stuff. But we could just sit down and play a couple games with these packs basically, and then you could probably build out of the packs into something else.
Well, I mean that's a pretty good idea then.
Yeah. I really dig that idea because there's a whole market of people like us that really would still love to play, but just can't make that financial commitment anymore.
Yeah, I got enough financial problems.
Or even the time commitment. You know how it is. Like to be a decent player, you got to put some time into the game. You got to study. Sure. You got to learn the meta games. You got to practice and build your decks. Blah blah. Anyway, so yeah,
a bunch of blah blah blah.
Yakety schmackety.
Exactly.
Yep. So yeah. So they did WrestleMania this year as 2 nights, right?
Okay.
Now speaking, night 2 is going on, so I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I watched the first night last night, and my move is always pretty much like whatever pay-per-view type thing is on the network. I wait until much later to watch it because usually the stream is better, versus watching it when everyone's watching it.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I watched it, later last night, and it's so, like, I mentioned to you before about them doing empty arenas, and that what
seems so weird to me.
It's so strange. Like, one of the matches was a ladder match. And you talk about the weirdest thing to watch is a ladder match with no crowd reaction to the big moments,
Yeah.
Like all these big spots that these guys do, normally the crowd goes stupid over. There's no crowd, like the ending of it. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched yet. John Morrison is holding on to the thing, because it's a ladder match. They put the belts up on the thing,
like dangling 20 feet in the air or whatever.
So he's holding onto the belts, and the other 2 guys climb up, and they all grab onto the thing that's holding the belts, and it comes loose. And when it does, Morrison had the belts in his hand, and he falls all the way down. Well, the rules of the match are first guy to climb a ladder, get the belts. Well, it was weird because normally it would be tag teams because these were for the tag championships, but the Miz was sick, so they decided to take
Corona.
They put one guy from each team in the match instead. So it was a little different anyway. So when Morrison hits, he's got the belts, so he wins the match, right? Well, it's kind of a weird and different ending because, normally it's some guy at the top of the ladder pulling the belts and everybody, woo, Well, because there was no crowd, the cameramen had to show the other 2 guys looking shocked because they have to convey that this is a shock moment. This is supposed to be it was so weird. Yeah, it was weird, and it was what's too bad is it's like they put on a hell of a match, and
Right.
you really felt the absence of the crowd in that one. Like I almost felt like they shouldn't have done that match. I feel like they almost should have saved that one for down the road, you know?
Yeah, that seems some matches. It's like that seems a weird one to do. It all seems weird to me, but I understand they need to do WrestleMania for people at home.
Yeah, but like I was telling Fluffy Bunny Ash last night, I was like, what I'd love to hear is I'd love to hear one of the wrestlers do a ring psychology breakdown of how you pace the match, like because a lot of times they call the match in the ring, sometimes. And a lot of times they make audibles based on the crowd. Like, if the crowd's not really buying what they're doing, sometimes they'll kind of... Like, a perfect example of it is when The Rock and Hogan had their match.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, I think WWE and everyone thought that the crowd was going to be on The Rock's side. And that was not the case. The crowd went stupid for Hogan. So, as a result, Hogan was coming in as the heel. The Rock was the face. They were smart enough to know in the ring to switch.
Right.
And The Rock started pouring on the heel offense because that's what the crowd was giving them, was they saw him as the bad guy, basically. So it's like, with no crowd, you wouldn't have that. That match would have been totally different with no crowd.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm really curious how those guys work that out, because there's those moments where, they'll be doing something and, they will, talk to each other in the match and be like, they're eating out of our hands, basically. Well, there's nobody there. So how do you know if something's working or if it isn't? It's so weird.
Right.
But there were a couple of matches like that where, they had one where this guy was the chicken shit heel and he keeps, getting out of the ring and running around to avoid the match, basically. And, normally the crowd would be putting all the heat on that guy,
Right.
Because he's a chicken shit, And, again...
Yeah, no one likes that.
No crowd. So, like I said, there's a couple spots where you really miss it. The weirdest part to me, there was a couple of things. The weird parts to me were one of the commentators, a guy went, shoulder first into the ring post,
Right.
And the one commentator, Michael Cole, which I don't know if you remember him or not.
Oh, I remember him,
yeah,
all right.
He's still as bad as he ever was. And he's like, did you hear that? And I'm like, there's nothing else to hear. There's no crowd. It's an empty arena. Yeah, it's like, well, of course we heard it. We can hear everything.
Now, it's funny because, and this would have been hilarious, but it would have taken so much time and effort. As I saw, it was either on Reddit or something yesterday, the German version of Wheel of Fortune, right?
Yeah.
They're still filming shows, but they can't have a studio audience.
Yeah.
So everywhere that there was a chair for the studio audience, they had a balloon tied that someone just Sharpied faces on. So they had all these balloons of faces just hanging.
I love
just
that.
Hanging by strings off the balloon.
Oh, that's
off the chairs.
funny. Now, remember a couple weeks ago when I was first talking about the empty arenas, how I was like, they have chairs and it's just weird because you see all these, they got rid of the chairs. So, and to me, that made a big difference. And they've changed the way they shot it to where they're keeping the shots a little tighter on the ring. So you're not focused as much on the empty arena.
That makes sense. One
of the things that a lot of people on Twitter were pointing out, though, was during the ladder match, in this facility, they've got those big ceiling fans, just more to just kind of keep air moving through the place,
Right.
And you could see it the whole time. There's no way they could have shot that without you seeing this fan because of where it is in the ceiling.
Just whoop, 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 whoop.
And, that was a little unfortunate, but... Yeah, like I was saying, the weird parts, or the funny part to me was that, did you hear that? And it's like, well, yeah, of course. What I'm curious to watch...
Shit. I'm not even watching it, I heard it.
I'm curious to watch tonight because John Cena has a match tonight, and John Cena is notorious for being able to hear him when he's in the ring. You can hear him go, hit me! Do you remember Ken Shamrock, how bad he was?
Oh, yeah.
You could hear him all the time.
I'm gonna pin you!
Yeah, basically, Cena's that bad. And he knows it. But he's doing it because he's so excited during the match that he just,
Right.
So I'm very curious how Cena alters his behavior, if he alters his behavior, to cover that up a little bit. Because otherwise, you're going to hear every bit of it, because the wrestlers are actually like trash talking each other more than normal because you need something there, you know?
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Now the highlight of the night, and you should check this out. This is something that's worth watching. The Undertaker and a guy named AJ Styles had what was called a boneyard match.
Okay.
Which, from the way I had originally read it, was supposed to be a buried alive match, basically. I'm sure you remember those from back in the day. Yeah.
Back in the day.
Dude, the way this thing is shot, you'd swear it's straight out of, like, you can tell whoever's involved in it, probably were people who were involved with when Matt Hardy was there and were working with him, because it's shot very much like one of those Matt Hardy videos. Like,
oh, really?
Like the final deletion type things. Like, dude, like AJ Styles starts off, and he's all like, all right, and you can tell it's cinematic looking. It doesn't look like, it's not live, obviously, because they pre-recorded, I think, almost all of the matches because they weren't sure if they were going to be able to have them because of, state laws and stuff. So it shows AJ Styles, and he's standing there, and he's like, all right, come on, Undertaker, where you at? And next thing you know, you hear vroom, vroom of a motorcycle.
Oh, jeez.
And here comes Biker Taker, and I'm not shitting.
It'd be great if he came down on a rascal.
Yeah, oh, dude. Well, it's funny, though, because, AJ Styles is, calling old man, and you got nothing and all this, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see where this goes, and Undertaker's in, like, full American Badass gear, basically, black vest, black leather pants, do-rag,
right,
and I'm like, I ain't mad at it, because I'm not going to lie, I kind of miss that Undertaker, because that was kind of a fun, like, a little more of, like, him just being who he is kind of a thing. It was a fun jaunt. But as he's rolling up, Metallica... He's
dressed like Jeff Lowe from the GW.
No. He looks authentic. But he's rolling up to... oh, shit, I forgot the name of the Metallica song. It's off of Hardwired. Anyway, they keep really focusing on the lyrics in it that's talking about living forever or whatever. So,
right.
So, I was like, well, at least he didn't roll up to Limp Bizkit,
yeah,
or Kid Rock.
Sure.
So he comes out, and I mean, I'm not going to lie, like, they made Undertaker look real good. Like, the way it was shot made him look super strong. I think they punched up the sound, so when they punched, it sounded like legit punches. Like, it sounded like hard, stiff punches. And
they didn't, like, add in, like, 70s Kung Fu sound?
No. There are a couple times where I think they did a little bit, and, but they kept it fairly toned down. But, dude, there's a part where, like, AJ Styles puts him in this open grave, and you're like, oh, shit, and he gets into the front loader, and he's going to push the dirt in there. Next thing, just bright light behind the thing, and Undertaker's standing behind him.
So wait, Undertaker mastered the art of teleportation?
Yes. Well, he's done it before, so So
he's old as fuck. I get it. He knows things.
Right. I mean, before long, I figure what's going to happen. Someone's going to throw a punch at him, and he's just going to turn into pure force at some point.
For sure, right?
So he shows up, behind AJ Styles, and of course AJ's like, "How the hell, I had you buried or whatever."
What the fuck?
And the best part is, dude, when Undertaker falls into that grave, dude, he's gassed. I mean, gassed like he's Roy Nelson in a 5th round of a heavyweight fight.
Oh, geez, just leaning on people.
Oh, dude, he's the whole time, right? So, of course, because of the magic of editing, they probably were like, all right, cut, let Undertaker, get some oxygen or whatever.
Yeah, catch his breath, get a glass of water.
Right.
Play a round of bingo.
Yeah. and then he starts just beating the living hell out of AJ Styles and stuff. But the best part of the whole thing is there's a couple other, like, supernatural things that I shan't spoil. Please go watch this, because I'm sure WWE will put it up on their YouTube at some point, or if not, get, if you know somebody with the network, or I'm sure you can find a way to watch this. But he is trash talking AJ Styles the whole way, and it's great because he's just like, old man, huh, boy? You know, and he's like, who's old now, boy? And he just keeps calling him boy, and he's talking in this, like, in his regular voice, not like, Undertaker, you know. Yeah. And I'm laughing the whole time. It was great. It was so entertaining. And I was, at the end of it, I was so like, dude, they need to do this every year. If they do this every year, Undertaker could do this till he's probably 90. And it would be entertaining. So what, 5 more years or so, you know?
Yeah, exactly, right?
But dude, it's great. One thing I will say that I love, and as spoilers, I guess, but at the very end of it, you know, he's got AJ just beat, you know, and he's got him like teetering on the edge of the grave. And he's like, and AJ's like, please don't bury me. Please don't bury me. And Undertaker's like, you think I'm going to bury you? And he's like, after that, he's like, after the fight you just gave, you know, and he's like, nah, he's like, we're good, boy. And he like hugs him, you know, and he pats him on the back or whatever. And he's like, nah, we're good. We're good. And then he like turns around and then he just like, I don't remember if he kicked him or punched him, but you know, into the grave, of course. And then, you know, buried him.
Yeah.
So, and the best part of the thing is the very end is that, like, you know, he walks over, picks up his do-rag, which had come off, you know, kind of shakes it a little bit, puts it on, gets on his motorcycle, and rides off into the night.
Of course he does.
It was
God
so
damn it,
great.
Undertaker.
It was so great, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I enjoyed the shit out of it, and it was the last match of the night because it should be, because it's Undertaker. And
well, yeah, for sure.
It's a Mania thing, you know. Especially if you're gonna break it into 2 nights, Undertaker should get one of those spots for, you know,
well,
the main
out of
event.
respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! Like when it first started, I'm like, what is going on? And then a couple minutes in, I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm watching one of those Matt Hardy videos, and I ain't mad at it. And it just went on, and I was like, this was so well produced, and it was just fun. It was exactly what I think. I think it was perfect for the time.
Right.
You know, like it still gave us an Undertaker that looked like a badass, even though he's 100. You know,
Sure. Yeah, he wasn't chucking him in a grave. He was chucking him in a World War I trench.
Right. You know, it was, and like I said, you know, it made Undertaker look like $1 million, as well as, you know, I mean, you know, there was no way I really expected AJ to win, because I think they kind of understood that I mean, Taker's lost twice at Mania now, and I don't know. There's just something. It needed something. He needed something to make it special again, you know?
I mean, I wrote in and said they should do a bedpan match.
Like when Vince was in the hospital and Stone Cold came in.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Started tuning him up with that bedpan.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Shit. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, if you enjoyed any of the like Hardy videos and stuff, definitely go check this out. It was a fun watch. And the best part was every time Undertaker comes back for another match, I'm always like, oh no, because it's like I don't want him to look bad, you know?
Right.
It's like if he's gonna look bad, I wish he would just hang it up, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So, but then they also announced that there's going to be like a mini series about kind of what all the Undertaker does to get ready for each year of Mania, and like going through surgeries and different stuff. And I was like, oh, hello. Like, it's weird because he was on Stone Cold's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about his career. Like, dude, he's on Instagram now posting selfies left and right. It's so strange.
Oh,
like, he's so not, like, you remember Undertaker, that was, you know, you protect the business with that guy. He was maybe the greatest example of protecting the business. You know, like, he didn't do autograph signings very often. He never showed up out of character. You know, it was always the gimmick, you know.
I was like, 3 p.m. got smoothies.
Dude, I've got a picture on my Instagram that I had posted from his Instagram, I think. And it's him, like, shelling for, like, I don't know, like one of those chef services or something. Like, or those ones where they ship the meals to you. And I'm like, oh, no, what are you doing? Like, no.
I just learned how to make Mugu Gai Pan. This meal's going to rest in peace.
No. I just made this delicious steak, and it's going to rest on Peas.
Yes.
Anyway, I know that was a lot about Undertaker and stuff, but it's considering. I mean, a few things. I mean, there'll always be
crazy. I've never used turmeric before.
The Turmericstone. Oh shit!
Such an earthy tone. I would just love it if he was like still in Undertaker form.
Yeah.
But he just did all the like classic Instagram shit.
Yeah. Right. Like he's a social media influencer the whole time.
Exactly.
He kind of is, dude. He kind of is.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
He's doing a dry rub on a piece of meat and he's like ashes to ashes, crust to crust.
Rust.
Fucking A. Oh, Undertaker. I love the guy so much. He's easily one of my favorites of all time, but yeah. Been around long ass time. But I do appreciate once again, whether it was his idea or Matt Hardy's idea, whoever. Matt Hardy certainly should get an assist on this one for sure. But the idea that it reinvigorates a character that kind of, forgive the pun, was dead, like
right
last year in his Mania, or no, I don't think he was in Mania last year, but it was just like, it was kind of like, okay, what else is there to really do with what's going on here, and he looks old. You can see it in the ring. He's not what he used to be, like you can clearly see he's lost like 4 steps, like,
right.
And from his youth, he was a hell of an agile big man,
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I'm going to challenge you to a nursing home match.
I'd watch that. If it was shot by whoever's in charge of like the Hardy videos, like, that crew, hell yeah, man.
Just Irish whip somebody into like a table full of people playing backgammon.
They all just shatter.
Yeah. There's wheelchairs everywhere.
Yeah, just sounds like you threw a bowling ball through like, a display of glass.
Glass and dry pretzels.
Yeah. Crap. But anyway, yeah. So, good fun. Good clean fun.
Huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
So, all right. Well, I guess you got anything else?
No. I don't. Oddly enough, I don't really have any news stories like I normally would.
Yeah, I didn't. The only one I really pulled was the the thing about Zoom, but that kind of worked into our conversation anyway. So,
fair enough.
Here we are.
All
right. Well, I guess let's do the Q of the W answer.
Well, on face page, Brian. Wait, crickets.
Oh.
Cricket.
Nice.
Yeah, no one seemed to appreciate our I want to know what waffle shapes.
Also, the silver lining. I was
and the silver lining.
Really hoping for some silver lining stuff. Although I've seen quite a few on Twitter this week. I can't remember any of them, but I've seen some, and I appreciate that people are trying to keep that perspective, through here. So I actually might extend that one and try to push it a little bit more, because I think
like Static X.
Yeah, you push it. Yeah.
You push it. Ooh, you push it.
What I've heard. It's what I've heard. But Cheeto Bandito did answer. Because...
well, you know what? He is like reliable. He's like the U.S. Postal Service.
Right.
Always there when you need him. Dropping his package around. What?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's fair enough. I mean, speaking of, so he says waffle maker. Well, since Dick was already taken, his initial thought, awkward, he's going to go with titties.
I mean, titty waffles would be pretty sweet.
Right? So he goes, hey, man, you want a couple of titties? Yeah, dude, I'll take a tit or two. Him changing waffle plates. You want a dick to go with them titties? You. Oh, man. His silver lining is he's still able to work and people still love / want the food that comes out of the restaurant. # wash your hands. # and your ass.
Well, I'm glad to hear. I was actually going to probably text him tomorrow and ask him how things are going.
I hope he doesn't do those in that order. I hope he washes his ass first, then his hands.
Yeah, well, you want to clean hands if you're going to then manipulate your ass, I guess.
Right. All right, I guess it depends on what you're doing. I was thinking cooking.
Yeah.
You probably want to wash your ass, then your hands.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he just got done chopping like 14 habaneros.
You certainly don't want to be, you know.
He's just like, well, time to get in there.
Yeah. Probably want to wash your hands first. Yeah. Well, that's why gloves are important, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Really quick, my tip for the week. For those of you out there who clearly we're all washing our hands and all that, you know, but make sure if you haven't, like if you're a glove wearer right now and wearing masks as we're all kind of advised to do. Again, first of all, you know, the stuff I've read basically says that cloth masks and stuff are fine. That way we can wash them and wear them again. Please try to save the high-end masks for the medical professionals. Yeah. Or the high risk.
More high-end than tactical scarf.
Right. I actually kind of wish I would have bought a tactical scarf now.
I know.
I could use one. Instead, I don't know what I'm going to use, you know. So maybe I'll just have to cut up an old T-shirt. But the other thing is, make sure, like, take the time to watch a video on how to properly remove gloves and mask, because I've seen a lot of people not removing them correctly out in public.
Now, does this final step, I hope, means put it in the garbage can and not just on the concrete where you're at?
We talked about that
last week.
Bunch of
goddamn animals.
I've seen so many people post pictures of like cart corrals and stuff at these stores where there's just tons of gloves laying on the ground. It's like, come on, like stop it.
Should all probably be dragged out and shot.
I will say this: if I was a store, I might put a garbage can out there, just because otherwise they're gonna be all over the ground, you know. But
or an armed guard.
Or an armed guard. That's actually a better idea. I like that. Much like my idea of, you know, I've been telling people that I'm going to start carrying, like Heno posted a thing, I think, in our group about, like, when, you know, kids get within 6 feet to, you know, like, mace them. And I was like, yeah, it's funny. I said that to somebody the other day. I was going to do that with anyone. Like, if you get within 10 feet of me, and I'm just going to start macing people.
Just bear mace.
Yeah.
Like Dog the Bounty Hunter bear mace.
Yep. Just back off. Like, you can cough and scream all you want. I'm going to be gone by then.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit. All right. Well, I guess I should pull out you want to do a song thingy for the week?
Yeah, let's do a song one. That's always a good time.
Well, how perfect.
Let me get my Spotify ready here.
All right. Is it ready now?
Oh, well, no, but, you know.
Jesus.
It'll be ready.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man.
You've got like 3 jobs.
All right, what do you got?
This one is a song to play that makes you want to cry.
Oh, geez.
That's a tough one. I don't really know that anyone.
That is a tough. That's one I'm actually going to have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
Because I don't have much music that really hits me in the, like, I'm going to cry strings.
Yeah, I don't really either. Oh, you know what? No. Windmill Slam got this. Duh.
Oh, yeah?
Holy shit, yeah. And you'll know, as soon as I say it, you'll understand it. Spirit in the Sky.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. All right.
And for those who don't know, that was the final song played at my dad's funeral, because that was the song he wanted played. So every time I hear that song, it's a punch right in the beans. Actually, now that I think about it, I can name probably 4 songs.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you Hobie in this?
Yeah. So that one's the main one. But also, Oh Christmas Tree, and Let It Snow. And the reason for those 2 is my dad hated Let It Snow. So every once in a while, my mom or I just to get his goat would just start singing it.
I love the couple people that are actually subscribed to our playlist. Are going to be like just jamming someday, and then Christmas is going to come on.
Right. And Oh Christmas Tree is because my dad and I used to change it to where we would just sing it as Oh Twistmas Twee. And I don't know why. I don't remember how that started, but we used to do it. And now every year, fucking Corona has that commercial where it shows like the palm trees or whatever, and they light up, and it's just somebody whistling it. And dude, I almost every time I almost just start sobbing like a baby. So,
telling you, meditation's dead inside.
Dude, I wish that would work. That's what I need to. That's my new meditation app.
Why don't we have to get back on you?
Yeah, that's gonna be my new meditation app. How to become more dead inside. Focus on the dread.
Yeah.
Focus on the dread. Whenever you feel your mind wander, just bring it back to the dread.
Push it down. Center it above your heart.
Find that black hole. Bring it back to the black hole. Spaghettify those feelings.
Spaghettify.
Yep. Oh, goodness. So, that's our Dead Inside song of the week, I guess. Also, again, I'm going to extend the silver lining one. Like, during these wacky, zany times, what's your silver lining? So let's hear both.
Yeah, let's push it out.
Do it.
Show me what you got.
Yeah.
You're correct to do it.
Yes, sir. Oh, man. All right. Well, I think we did this.
I think we did do this.
So, guess it's time to wrap it up so I can push this show out and then go watch WrestleMania Part 2.
There you go. And I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah. As you do.
Because, bed.
Because you got to work.
Yeah, for now.
Yep. So, as always, head over to saltylanguage.com. Check out all the past episodes that are available on there, including the enthusiast episodes. You can find links to the networks we're part of, like the Tangent Bound Network, and
Danger! Watch your back! Danger!
entertainment. So
Hell to the yeah.
Definitely go check those out. And if you want to contact the show, you can hit us up on Twitter at salty_language. You can find me at Stunami.
You can find me at Monotony. And, of course, we're on the Instagrams, we're on the face pages, we're on the Snapchats. It's really better just go to saltylanguage.com if you really want to get hooked the fuck up.
Yeah, all the links be there. So
all the links be there.
Yep. All right. So, that's good enough. Like I said, all the links are there. Anything else, just hit us up on Twitter or whatever. So, so I guess until next time, have a beer, you'll be fine.
Oh, stay salty, people.
And, I don't really have one for this week. Shit.
6 feet. 6 feet!
No, it's not even 6 feet. I think they're advising 10 feet now. It's like, just stay away from everybody. Just don't go near anyone. If you live in the same house as everyone, you're just going to have to pick floors,
Well, throw your fucking gloves away, you savages.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. And, I guess, the one we've been kind of jokingly saying off and on, which is, be excellent to one another. Or to each other. How I can never get it right. So.
Well, party on, dude.
Yeah.